You might have heard of the 80-20 rule. Now, this is also known as the Pareto principle, and it comes from Vilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly. In the late 19th century, he noticed that about 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the population. Later, he found this pattern, the 80-20 pattern, popping up elsewhere, like 20% of pea pods in his garden producing 80% of the peas. So it's not a hard law, but a recurring observation about uneven distribution. In the 20th century, management thinkers like Joseph Duran, I think that's how you pronounce his name, ran with it and applied it to business. So, for example, 80% of profits often came from 20% of customers. It's since become a go-to strategy, especially for productivity and beyond. So it's less of a source than a principle that has been battle tested across fields. So, what can you do right now, today, using the 80-20 rule? Why am I interrupting this video? Very quickly, just to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already. This is a new channel, but I'm giving you 20 plus years of experience in public relations and communications. I'm a chartered practitioner. I'm also currently studying part-time a postgraduate degree, an MSc in Systems Thinking, and that has just blown my mind since I started it. So it's really enhanced my strategic consulting. I'm also a content creator, as you may know. I've mentioned it many times. I produce and stream on media and politics and entertainment now. So there's a separate channel for that, as well as me talking on my podcast, which is a separate channel, on holistic thinking and being. So I'm very much within this world of being a critical thinker, being a strategic thinker, zooming out, being a holistic person, and seeing how all of this can really enhance our personal and professional lives. Back to the video. So let me give you a quick example. When I was spending way more than 20% on content creation in the past year or so, especially on my media and politics commentary channel, I found that I wasn't getting as much of a output, if you like, in terms of content ideas, material to speak about, and interest from my audience, compared to when I would spend 20% of my time with my head down, studying, doing research. And this shifted, especially when I started doing my postgraduate master's, my MSc. And all that time that I now spend doing it part time whilst I'm working has given me so much intel, so much food for thought, that even when I haven't prepared or produced a script, once I start speaking on a topic on that channel, or when I'm speaking to somebody in a consultation manner or at work, ideas come to me, insights come to me, and it provides so much value for all of those things that I'm doing, because of the 20% of the time that I spent just with my head in the books, researching, taking notes, etc., etc. So for me, rather than just trying to be super busy doing all of those things, I wasn't perhaps giving as much quality or as much substance. Perhaps my effort and my energy wasn't flowing as much, compared to when I had spent just 20% of my time doing all the research, to do the study, and to really think about applying these ideas from systems thinking, from psych and social research, the different areas that I'm currently studying. And so Here's your chance to now think about looking at a big sort of a major sort of chunk of your work, a part of your work stream, your workflow. Which one thing could you do for just 20% of the time that could yield you so much more? I can give you a creative example. I know when I spend a consistent amount of time, but again, around the 20% mark, playing around in my sketchbook, so ready for painting, and I practice different ideas and I just let myself flow. Once I actually do arrive at that canvas to create a piece, I just feel much more fluent and at ease because I've spent 20% of my time just either practicing or experimenting, exploring, being curious, keeping my sort of skills nice and warm and accessible. If I hadn't have done that, I know I find then the time I'm spending in approaching a piece on a canvas is far more overwhelming, and it doesn't feel as free because I've not practiced just being in the creative sort of flow. That's kind of a little less of a tangible example, but you can apply this in so many ways. So I really want to hear from you. What kind of 80-20 split, 80-20 rule, how can you apply that to your work, to your personal life? And since strategic thinking is what this channel is really all about, I would love to hear from you. Any challenges, strategic challenges you're facing, personally or professionally, do jump in the comments. And there's other ways you can get in touch with me as well. You can join me on my Patreon, come to my Instagram, multiple ways I'm available on. And I think what would be really great is if I actually have some perhaps problems or dilemmas that I could then plan to address in forthcoming episodes. It could provide much more value and insight, for you and for others who are facing something similar to you. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for subscribing. The fact that you have given me your time and attention until this point means that this is working and helping for you. So do subscribe. It does help the channel. And like this video, drop me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.